Hello to everyone and welcome to our video that shows you how to enter new dossiers into the EleQta database. As you know, our database consists of a number of bits of information that are being entered by the researchers during their inquiries, but also of a section where we create a number of dossiers for all the political actors that are playing a significant role in the country's political scene. This dossier section of EleQta is created before the the research campaign starts. It is always possible to add extra dossiers to this section during the inquiries, and we encourage you to do it if you find any missing dossier. But at the beginning of the inquiries, you will all have to collaborate to actually determine a list of dossiers of actors for which we will initially create dossiers. So what I want to show you now is how you actually create and edit dossiers within EleQta. At the beginning of the briefings, we will work together to establish this list of dossiers. The list will be imported into EleQta, but each one of you will have to edit a number of dossiers to complete them after they have been imported into EleQta. So to do this, you will have to become familiar with the dossiers creation and editing pages, which we will see in a moment. This is the dossier section of EleQta, where you can see a list of all the dossiers, which you can classify and search and display and order according to different criteria as shown in our previous video. You find a list of all the dossiers here. Some of them will be complete, others won't. At the beginning, you will be assigned the number of dossiers that you will have to complete. So if you have to complete a dossier, you have to click on Edit next to the relevant dossier to enter the dossier editing page. What I want to show you now is that by clicking on this button, you can actually display the list of types and subtypes. Dossiers are divided among a number of types, which are person, organization, group, media, government agency, polling station, and then there's also a special group which is called My Dossiers. And then each one of these groups is divided in different subgroups. So within the persons, we find politicians, representatives for organizations, government agency representatives, eminent leaders. This is a very specific role within society that corresponds to those who have some form of authority which is not political, which does not stem from the state, but it stems from spiritual, traditional, or other social structures and hierarchies that exist within their society. Then there's other person for any other relevant, important person that plays a role in the election but does not fall in any of these subtypes. Organizations are divided among political parties, unions, companies, associations and NGOs, private security forces, militias, churches and sects, international organizations, and other kinds of organizations. Groups are social groupings, so identities that somebody can claim or that somebody can say that he is part of, and they are divided among ethnic groups, religious groups, interest groups, and other kinds of groups. Then we have the media, which are divided among daily newspapers, non-daily press, radio station, TV channel, social network, news website, non-news websites, and other media. We have the government agencies, which are divided among electoral institutions, public security forces, ministry and departments, the judiciary, and other government agencies. Then polling stations are obviously only polling stations, and My Dossiers are divided among dossiers that have to be completed, which are the ones that you have created in your data entry pages, for which you have to refer to our videos 3, 4, and 5. Once you create a dossier directly in your data entry page because you see that there is a missing dossier, it will be classified by the system into this subtype. So we'll have to go back to it and complete it. And within my dossiers, which are the dossiers that are visible only to you as a researchers, you find these ones were to be completed, and also the dossiers for the interviewees that you have interviewed during your inquiries. So going back to our dossier section here, you can either edit an existing dossier or click on this button here to create a new dossier. The page you will access is very similar. So as you can see here, the first choices you have to make are type and subtype of dossiers. Depending on the choices you make here, some of the fields might change. We encourage you to use the little question mark icons here to click on them to really know exactly what you have to put inside each one of these fields. As you can see, type and subtype are the first two fields that you need to fill in, and that corresponds to the elements of this list. Then the next field that you have to fill in is the full name field. So in case of if it's a person, you want to write down his surname and then his name. If it's organization and all other types of media, etc., we want the official and complete name in here. So no acronyms, please. For the following field, on the contrary, allows you to enter any other names under which the actor is known, including nicknames, acronyms, etc., etc. This is very important for our system to recognize every reference to a particular actor, to know, it needs to know all the different names that the actor is known by. Then you will see, depending on the choices you make here, you have different fields that you have to fill in. Anyway, there's one field that's common, that's a description. And over here you want to enter a short sentence that helps you to understand who this person or organization, actor is in general terms. Then you have fields that allow you to associate the organization or the person to a place, which for persons should be the place of origin, and also for politicians where they have their electoral fief. This is all stated here, so don't hesitate to use the question marks. I cannot explain you all the different fields for all the different types and subtypes of dossiers. You will have to use these question marks. There are two date fields, date of birth or death for persons, date of foundation and dissolutions for organizations. And then, very importantly, there is a field that allows you to create dossier relations between dossiers. This is very important. Let's say you're entering a dossier. You're creating a dossier for a politician. You will have to create relations between this dossier and, for example, the dossier of the party that is to which this politician belongs. You might also want to create other relations. For example, if this politician has a particular relationship with some kind of media. You might also want to relate him with government agencies if he is holding a position, for example, in I don't know, in the electoral commission, for example. So if you choose, you can create as many relations as you want for a dossier, and we encourage you strongly to create as many relationships as you can. So you will select the different dossiers you want to create a relation with in this field, and then you will see that in the relations list there will be new elements that appear. You can state, this is not compulsory, a start and an end date for a relation. For example, when a politician has joined or quit a party. And you must enter the nature of the relation. So in this case, he's a member of this party, so we just put member. He is also the chairman of the electoral commission. So we enter that we enter this kind of relation inside this field. Once we are done filling in all the possible fields for which we have information, we click on Create. We also encourage you, dossier data has also to be neutral and clear-cut, so no opinions, no caricatures. Please put the nicknames and anything even critical that any ways of referring to a person or an agency, even if they're critical, but try to be clear-cut and objective when you, for example, mention the background or the biography of people, etc. You can also obviously source the information from the internet, from Wikipedia, etc. If you do so, please state the source of your information after you have written born in Kinshasa, I don't know, and you put between a parenthesis, you will put the source of your information if it's sourced from a website or another source. So once you are done, you click on Create. Obviously, I haven't filled the full name for this guy. Let's call him Test so I can remember. I have to delete him, and then I click on Create, and I will be sent back to the dossier section where right now if I order them by decreasing number, I will find the last dossier that I have created here on top of the list. I can either view it by clicking on this button, or I can edit it if I want to make some changes. Here it is. So as I mentioned earlier, dossiers can be created within the section by clicking on add a new dossier. They can also be created while performing data entries by entering the name of the new dossier in the field, in the relevant field, and then clicking on enter. If you do this, you will have to go back to the dossier section and then edit the dossier that you have just created, because you will find them here in the to be completed subtype. So I haven't done this for all of my dossiers yet, but you don't want to see any of these to be completed dossiers in your dossiers list. So periodically, researchers should check, and they should remember that every time that they create a new dossier in a data entry page, they should go back to edit it immediately.